Hello, good morning, students. Today we will study chapter number 1, that is chemical reaction and equations from NCERT syllabus 10th standard. I am here Professor Thomre. So what is chemical reaction? A chemical reaction consists of a left side part that is called as a reactant and the right side part that is called as a product. So chemical reaction consists of this reactant and product, meaning is in chemical reaction this one substance that is a reactant is converted into product. It means I will take here example. This is A compound converted into B compound. So conversion of one compound into another compound is called as a chemical reaction, and this is a chemical equation that consists of a left side part called as a reactant and a right side part that is called as a product. Now, the types of chemical reactions. So there are different types of chemical reactions. In this chapter, we will study these 5 types of chemical reactions. First type of chemical reaction is a combination reaction. Second is decomposition reaction. Third is displacement reaction. Fourth is double displacement reaction. And fifth one is oxidation reaction. So these are 5 types of reactions. We will study one by one all these types of reactions. So next is all these reactions are summarized in tabular form so that we will understand all these types of reactions with their general equations. So first type of reaction is a combustion reaction here taken. So combustion meaning is a reaction of substance with oxygen molecule. So that substance is converted into its oxide. So oxides of A and B are formed in the combustion reaction. Next type of reaction is combination reaction. So in the combination reaction, A substance combine with B and give formation of new substance, that is called as a combination type of reaction. Then next is decomposition type of reaction. It is exactly opposite type of reaction than the combination. Here one large molecule is converted into two small molecules, that is called as a combustion type of decomposition type of reaction. Next is a displacement type of reaction. Displacement means substitution. So here we will consider example. A molecule react with BC aqueous solution. It gives AC plus B. Here this B is displaced by A. So this is a displacement of B part from this molecule by A, and that gives AC plus B. So this type of reaction is called as a displacement reaction. Next type is a double displacement type of reaction. In double displacement reaction, two types of atoms are or ions are displaced or substituted in the chemical reaction. For example, this AB react with CD give AD plus CB. In this reaction, here this B part of one molecule is substituted by D, and here D part in other molecule is substituted by B. So at a time there is displacement of two molecules, hence it is called as a double displacement type of reaction. So we had studied examples of combustion, combination, decomposition, displacement, and double displacement type of reaction. Now we will study what is decomposition type of reaction. We had already studied that decomposition means one large molecule, single molecule of reactant that break down into simpler products, that is called as a decomposition reaction. So general representation of decomposition reaction is A is converted into B plus C. This is a general representation of decomposition reaction. Then what is exothermic reaction? Meaning of exo is given out and meaning of thermic is a heat. So the reaction in which heat is given out, heat is released, is called as an exothermic reaction. Then respiration is exothermic reaction. How it is? Here the explanation is given. That is, when we take food, we get energy and we stay alive. During digestion, food is broken down into simpler substances like carbohydrate and other nutrients. These carbohydrates further break down into glucose, and glucose combine with oxygen in cell in our body. In this process, cellular respiration and it provides energy. Therefore, respiration is exothermic reaction because it provides energy. Energy is released in this process and hence the respiration is exothermic reaction. Next point from this chapter is to study this law of conservation of mass. Meaning of this conservation means keeping constant. Meaning we know in a chemical reaction, A is converted into B, that is reactant is converted into product. That is a general chemical reaction. This law of conservation of mass states that this mass of reactant before the chemical reaction is equal to the mass of products in a chemical reaction. This is a very simple statement of law of conservation of mass. So chemical equation, so that is about the statement of law of conservation of mass. In other words, here it is given as the total number of atoms equal to total number of atoms and total mass of reactants and the product molecules. Then chemical equation formula balancing. So here one example is taken, that is how equations are balanced. Remember always that while balancing equation, always first balance this metal, then balance non-metals, then balance oxygen, and then balance hydrogen. Actually, oxygen and hydrogen, these are also non-metals, but the order of balancing of any chemical equation is first metal, then non-metal, then oxygen, and then hydrogen. Here we will see one example. Fe3O4 is ferric oxide react with hydrogen, give Fe plus H2O. In this reaction, first we will balance Fe. So to the reactant side, how many Fe atoms are present? So these are 3. And to the product side, Fe atoms, we had made this as a 3 by multiplying with Fe from equation 1. It is multiplied by 3 so that Fe metal is balanced in both sides. Next step is to balance oxygen. Here, oxygen in the reactant side are 4. Then to balance oxygen in the second step we had studied, there is only one oxygen in H2O molecule. So to balance oxygen in product side, this H2O molecule is multiplied by 4 so that this oxygen number in the reactant side and oxygen number in the product side is balanced. Now remaining is hydrogen. We know in equation 3, this hydrogen number to the reactant side is 2, but in the product side, it is a 4 times H2, means 8H. So how it is balanced in the fourth equation? By multiplying H2 with 4. So that here H atoms are 8 and here also hydrogen atoms are 8. So both are balanced. In this way, this equation is balanced. That is Fe3O4 plus 4H2 give thrice Fe plus 4H2O. This is balance the equation. So in this way, you have to balance the chemical reaction. Next part of this chapter is to study corrosion. So simply corrosion means reacting metals react with atmospheric oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapors. And these metals are converted into their oxides. This process is called as a corrosion. So process of slowly reacting metals due to attack of atmospheric gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapors. Here, the corrosion of iron metal is called as a rusting. So rusting of iron gives hydrated iron 3 oxide. So that is the corrosion. Then how it is prevented? That is called as a prevention of corrosion. So this corrosion can be prevented by using painting. So example of this I will give, the window grills that can be painted so that this corrosion can be prevented. Second way of prevention of corrosion is galvanization. What is galvanization? So we know this iron metal sheets म्हणजे लोखंडी पत्रा. So it is coated with zinc metal. This process is called as a galvanization. What is the use of this galvanization? Why it is carried out? Because it prevents the oxidation of iron metal which is already coated with zinc metal. So it prevents the oxidation of iron and hence rusting or the corrosion of iron. One more way of prevention of this corrosion is oiling, that is a greasing. If we apply oil or the grease on the metal surface, then it avoids the direct contact of atmospheric gases on the metal and prevents the corrosion. Corrosion of aluminium has advantage. Why it is advantage? Because when aluminium metal corrosion takes place, then it gives aluminium oxide having formula Al2O3. So this protects the inner layer of aluminum metal and further corrosion is avoided. So this is protective layer on aluminum metal, and therefore this corrosion of aluminum metal is the advantage. Now we will study this rusting, how it takes place. This is the iron metal in the form of equation. So this is iron metal. When it react with atmospheric oxygen and water vapors, then it forms Fe2O3, that is oxide of iron containing water molecules. So this is the material of rust, that is the rusting of iron. It contains hydrated iron oxide. Next part of this chapter is to study rancidity. Rancidity means that is a oxidation of oil or the fats in the food. So oil and the fats, by keeping long time, it gives the bad smell, that is a foul smell to the food material, and this is called as a rancidity. So oxidation of oil or the fat in a food resulting a bad smell and the taste, that is called as a rancidity. How it is prevented? So there are different ways to prevent the rancidity. One of the way is by adding antioxidants. There are some chemical substances like sulfur dioxide, then BHT and BHA. These are the names of antioxidant. So this can be added in oil to prevent the oxidation, that is the rancidity. Second way is vacuum packing. We know kurkure and other what this vapors, these packings can be done in vacuum so that this contact of air and the moisture is avoided, and that avoids the rancidity. One more way to avoid this rancidity is replacing air by nitrogen. So in the packing, this nitrogen gas may be added so that it prevent the rancidity, means contact with oxygen and other gases. Then next way to prevent this rancidity is the refrigeration. So food material, food stuff can be refrigerated, and which avoids the rancidity. Next point is to study exothermic and endothermic reaction. We had already studied what is exothermic reaction. Again, I will explain. Meaning of exo is given out, and meaning of endo is taken in. Exo means evolved and endo means absorb. Meaning of thermic is heat. So the chemical reaction in which heat is evolved called as exothermic reaction. In a chemical reaction, when heat is evolved, then it is called as a exothermic reaction. And a chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed called as endothermic reaction. So that is about this chapter. Thank you.